Here we have a couple of faces that are basically impossible to hate. Seriously, when you look at Yami or Kakashi, it's always what's not to like. Although I'd agree that they are very different from each other. But as far as being a good role model and a straight-up badass goes, they're about as good as a character can get. Yami is so universally loved because of the various layers to his character. He'll roast just about anyone, but always make sure that no one is left behind. He doesn't take any flack from anyone and is still loyal to Julius. And of course, there are his golden words: surpass your limits, right here, right now. Kakashi is also universally loved. In his case, it's because regardless of what happened to him and to those he loved, he never allowed himself to be consumed by the darkness. Plus, he is cooler than all those 𝐤𝐤𝐤s and their hatred anyway. Seriously, I completely understand anyone who says Kakashi is the best written character in Naruto. Alright, now back to the context of this video. We'll do a detailed introspection of both of these characters, their backgrounds, traits, and abilities, to see where they stack up against each other. As always, there will be a lot of juicy stuff in this video, so just get yourself some soda and sit tight. Starting with Yami. He was born in the Yami clan of the Hino country. His father believed that Yami could be the strongest in their clan, so he trained him as such. But Yami was more about fishing than swordsmanship. Unfortunately, his mother died while giving birth to his sister, and his father ended up a violent drunk. His sister's name is 𝐤𝐤𝐤. However, when Yami turned 13, his father wanted him to take a secret drug that'll draw out his bloodthirst as well as latent magical power. 𝐤𝐤𝐤 told him not to take it, and before you know it, their father had given the drug to her instead. It was too potent. She simply went ahead and slaughtered their clan, while not even being aware of it. Rather, he blamed Sukehiro for it. What happens is that Yami and his friend 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤 decide to hide the truth from her. Instead, Yami himself receives the blame and then flees the country. He meets Julius in the Clover Kingdom and becomes a member of the Magic Knights. From there on out, he works hard, and despite being an outsider, he reaches the ranks of the captain in the Magic Knights. On the other hand, we have Kakashi. His mother died when he was too young, which is why he was basically raised by his father throughout his childhood. Unfortunately, on one of his father's missions, the man ended up prioritizing his teammates over the mission. This resulted in major consequences for everyone, so much so that even the friends he saved ultimately blamed him. The man took his own life, and because of what happened, Kakashi swore that whatever happens, he'll always prioritize the shinobi code over everything else. He earned good grades in the Ninja Academy and was the best of his class. But do you know what's crazy? He graduated the academy at age 5, became a Chunin at age 6, but because of the shock of his father's death, he was not yet ready to operate in teams. At least, that's what the narrative hints at. Then, at age 9, he joined Team Minato together with two recent graduates, Obito and Rin. He took the Chunin exam with them as well. That was back when he was around 10 to 11 years old. The third great ninja war happens. He is promoted to a Jonin after turning 12 years old. Rin and Minato give him presents, but Obito doesn't give him anything, at least not yet. At one instance, Kakashi loves his eye, but Obito is hit by a boulder. It was already too late, and so he gives his other eye as a present to Kakashi, and also as a replacement for the one he had lost. Moving on, we all know what happened when Rin was kidnapped. Rin jumped in the way of his Chidori and basically sacrificed herself. Obito saw this and massacred everyone after Kakashi passed out. A brutal turn of events. Then, a few years later, on the night Kurama goes on a rampage, Kakashi loses his sensei as well. By that point, he had already lost his parents, his best friends, and even his sensei. They were all dead. But then again, what's impressive is how Kakashi still didn't allow himself to go over to the dark side. If Yami is a perfect combination of simultaneously being a badass and a troll, then Kakashi has a relaxed and aloof air to him. Still, he's just as much of a badass as Yami. Anyways, next we're going to talk about their abilities. In Yami's case, it's magic and swordsmanship. In Kakashi's case, it's ninjutsu and Sharingan. Both are, of course, masters of their own skill sets. First, let's talk about what Yami is capable of, and then we'll move on to Kakashi. You see, Yami's attribute is dark magic. In fact, one of the reasons he was recruited by Julius is because dark magic is rare. It's all about controlling and manipulating darkness after all. Yami uses his katana to channel the magic. Now, if you remember how Blackbeard has the ability to absorb the powers of other devil fruits, Yami can also do something similar. His darkness magic can attract other forms of magic, such as light magic, and in doing so, he also has the power to affect the other world. This is why he is classified as an arcane stage mage, because his powers defy the traditional standard. Going a little bit into the other kinds of magic that Yami can use, we have reinforcement magic, a very common way to temporarily amp up your physical stats. Then we have restraining magic, which is all about restraining opponents with darkness. And then we also have union magic. Using this, he can combine his dark magic with Nachtfaust's shadow magic. Since the two of them are compatible, this allows both the darkness and the shadow to work together and complement each other. Since Yami Sukehiro comes from the Yami clan, he was always well versed in the art of sword fighting and only got better over time. Going a little bit into his physical attributes, Yami is a complete unit. He can even throw Asta away with just a single hand. His speed, strength, endurance, reflexes, and durability are all peak, and they can get much higher with the use of reinforcement magic. His capacity for magic is also something to brag home about. And well, because of the Qlipoth Advent ritual, Yami's body was permanently altered, which in turn gave him an even more of an influx of magic power. There is also Kai and Mana Zone. Kai is basically a sixth sense, which can be used to one's awareness of their surroundings and to also see the attacks in persons that are ordinarily not visible. As for the Mana Zone, it's about manipulating the mana in an area around him to increase the power of his own magic spells. He can be pretty creative with it, as you must have already seen in the series. Another thing that we haven't talked about in detail is Yami's weapons. As most other mages, Yami has a grimoire, but a pretty dangerous one. It has 3 pages worth of dark spells. Then we have Yami's blades. He has a traditional katana, and then also has a Misteltein blade. Created by William, the Misteltein blade was imbued with World Tree magic. The first time Yami uses it against Lucifero, and following the battle, he gets the sword reshaped so that he looks like his usual katana. And that's about it for the destruction god Yami, which then takes us to Kakashi of the Sharingan. As the son of Konoha's white Fang, Kakashi was skilled from the beginning. The fact that he graduated from the academy at age 5 is a testament to that. And once he obtained the Sharingan, Kakashi went on to master over 1,000 jutsus. His strength is in versatility. Although Naruto may have been exaggerating, but he did say that Kakashi is smarter than Shikamaru, has a keener sense of smell than Kiba, is more adept at the Sharingan than Sasuke, and even has a better taijutsu than Rock Lee. That's saying a lot. Still, unlike the more overpowered characters in the story, he didn't have endless reserves of chakra just hiding in his body. At his best, he could only use his lightning Chotokadori 4 times a day, and Kamui only 3 times a day. But one can't understand his skills in ninjutsu, considering how he even mastered the Rasengan. Though it doesn't stop there. Kakashi can also use all 5 nature releases, as well as the yin and yang release. Not to mention, he can summon cool dogs too. His natural affinity is with lightning, and after becoming the Hokage, he evolved his lightning cutter into a new signature technique called purple electricity. Then comes his Sharingan. Despite not being a Uchiha, Kakashi wielded the eye extraordinarily well. This was noted by Itachi Uchiha during their scuffle, especially since Kakashi had also unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan. It happened right after Ren's death. Some may argue that it was Obito who awakened his Sharingan, but when you consider how it needs one's own chakra, it becomes pretty clear that Kakashi awakens his Mangekyo on his own. Mangekyo allowed him to use the space-time ninjutsu called Kamui. Ultimately, Kakashi lost his Sharingan, but right before Obito's actual death, Obito's spirit uses him as a vessel, and for a brief period of time, they awaken a perfect Susanoo. Still, the credit goes to Kakashi's intelligence and work ethic, because otherwise, he would have never come as far as he did with his Sharingan. As seen in the Boruto series, it wasn't the Sharingan that made Kakashi great. No, it was the other way around, at least in his case. The reality is that both Kakashi and Yami are truly exceptional characters. It's very difficult to hate them, but after considering all of this, who do you think would win? Just go wild in the comment section with your thoughts and ideas. I'm genuinely looking forward to reading them. Like and subscribe to the channel for free cookies. Share this video with your friends and see what they have to say. Well then, with that said, I'll see you guys on the next video.